Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you. When he waited 45 years for a return to the top flight, scoring to be in the position Bristol City were after 45 minutes. Goal down and a man down by half-time on Thursday. Unable to stem the Blades' tide in the second half, and now needing an historic result to give themselves any chance of reaching the final. Since the inception of the playoffs back in the 80s, no side has ever overturned a 2-goal first-leg deficit to reach a championship playoff final. And at this level, only one has ever made it to Wembley when they've lost the first leg at home. You can consult all the historical precedents and pages in the form book that you like. They're all going to paint a similar assessment of City's prospects. But speaking to Blades fans this afternoon, nothing is to be taken for granted amidst expectation of a Bristolian blitz from the off and the potential nervousness if the Robins score first. The odds are overwhelmingly stacked one way. Manning's men are the triumph. It'll be a win for the ages. This is how the two teams line up. Cooper in goal for Sheffield United. Chowdhury, Akrinogic, Robinson and Burrows. Brooks, Vinny Sosa, Peck and Harmer. Moore and Cannon. For Bristol City, O'Leary in goal. Tanner, Viner and Pring. Crawley, Knight, Earthy and Roberts. Vernon, Twine and Wells. The benches for the Blades: Gilchrist, McCallum, Holding, Brewster, O'Hare, Raksaki, Tom Davis, Campbell and Adam Davis. For Bristol City, Irakawa, McBetty, Bell, Cornick, McGuane, Armstrong, Morrison, and the keeper is Bajic. The Sheffield United players away to our right hand side in front of the Kop, red and white striped shirts, black shorts, just in a huddle. And a break away from that now. Bristol City fans away to our left-hand side, who've certainly travelled north in hope of a miracle rather than expectation of one materialising. And they're in very light yellow shirts, red shorts. And they will kick from left to right in this first half. Referee tonight, Peter Banks. No VAR, of course. There will be for the final. Well, the advantage appears hefty. The odds certainly are a formality or a phenomenal story. Bristol City aiming to recover a bigger home deficit than anyone before them to deny Sheffield United a first playoff final in 16 years. Atmosphere magnificent here at Bramall Lane, as good as the weather. And Sheffield United waiting for the signal to get this game underway, leading by 3-0. Winners of this one taking on either Coventry or Sunderland. Now we'll find out together who will be the other team through to Wembley tomorrow. So we're underway. Ball played back for Cooper. And a long ball knocked forward by him for Kiefer Moore to flick on, and it will go through to O'Leary away to our left-hand side. Sheffield United 0, Bristol City 0 here on TalkSport. 3-0 to the Blades on aggregate, and alongside me, the former England striker Dean Ashland.
Good evening, everyone. And all my thoughts are with the Bristol City players. How do you approach this? 3-0 down, away from home at Bramall Lane. And I think it's a case of, let's get our heads down, let's see what happens, let's see what develops. And that goal could be so crucial if they can get the first one. And a couple of changes, obviously, especially with Twine and Earthy coming in, ball playing midfielders. Can they get hold of that ball and show the football that they've shown many times under Liam Manning?
Well, what Bristol City need is a moment as well as a miracle. A moment like the Rob Dickey challenge at the Thursday night at Ashton Gate, which was the pivotal incident within that tie. Controversial red card, which was appealed to the surprise of Sheffield United supporters. The appeal failed. No Dickey tonight. Ball is with Harmer, the championship player of the year, headed through the midfield for the impressive youngster City Pack. What a breakthrough season he has had for Sheffield United. Nearly 50 games, having hardly played for the first team before the season started. Bristol City able to get it back, working it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Is that going to be a free kick? Referee says no foul on Twine, who still gets a second attempt in and rifles a shot towards the near post, which is just wide of the diving Cooper.
Yeah, well, it was O'Leary that pinged the ball out towards McCrory, who won his header into midfield, and Twine latched onto it. Felt he was pushed initially. When he went to ground, the ball got played back to him in the box, left-footed, snatched, shot into the ground and wide. But early on, it's half a chance what that could have done if that had nestled in the bottom corner.
Interesting in these very early stages as well, the composition of the Bristol City midfield, with Bird playing deeper than he has of late, back in the centre of midfield, and it's George Earthy, who was right wing back when he came on, but a central midfielder by trade, who's playing as the inside forward alongside Scott Twine, just behind Naki Wells. Bristol City just lose possession over on the far touchline. It's gone out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Hamza Chowdhury for Sheffield United, who come into this unbeaten in 3, but they have lost 5 of the last 14 that they played here at Bramall Lane. Over the course of the season, though, only Leeds had more wins. A decent home record of 15, 4 and 4. Bristol City's away form consistently inconsistent over the course of the season. A lot of draws, very few wins. Well, you bear in mind they've got to win by 3 or more tonight. They're coming into this on the back of only 4 away wins in their last 26 games over the last 13 months. Giving the ball away here, and Sheffield United are going to be able to bring it out from the back, with Robinson finding Burrows, whose long ball forward is headed by Kiefer Moore, but it's easily picked up in the midfield by Knight, the Bristol City captain, worked by him down through the midfield, but Crawley has lost it. He's over on the right tonight, having started on the left the other night. Sheffield United have worked it back. Harmer towards the edge of the penalty area. Peck coming forward. It might break Moore's way. Shot goes in on the turn, and it's just past the top left-hand corner. Well worth an attempt from Tom Cannon, and he wasn't far away.
Yeah, but what you can't do is leave Osama with space on the left-hand side. He picked out a pass to Sidney Peck. Eventually it came to Kiefer Moore, laid it into Cannon. Great first touch because it was zipped into him, swiveled and took the shot left-footed towards the left-hand top corner, just over the top, but that's the threat from wide areas from Sheffield United.
And Max O'Leary had absolutely no chance of saving that, and it just cleared the bar by about a foot. You're listening to Sheffield United against Bristol City in EFL Game Day Live on TalkSport with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. 0-0. And we are 5 minutes in. 3-0 to Sheffield United on aggregate. Remember, the first leg stayed goalless until first half stoppage time. The red card incident just before the numbers board went up, and Burrows converted the penalty in first half stoppage time. 2 goals from substitutes after that, Brooks and O'Hare. The City that night only had 1 shot on target in 90 minutes. And clearly that's a statistic that needs considerable improvement tonight. Ball away to our right hand side with Cooper, the Sheffield United goalkeeper. It's still 0-0.
I think what I like tactically so far from Liam Manning's side is clearly bringing in Earthy and Twine, just to almost make a 4-box midfield against Sidney Peck and Vinny D'Souza. They tend to isolate those two in midfield, Sheffield United, with this 4-4-2, and they're just trying to get that extra player or two in the middle of the park, Bristol City, to try and control that midfield.
A very strong challenge from Tom Cannon. Put the ball out of play for a throw, but he's come back to make that challenge from an offside position. Free kick that O'Leary takes for Bristol City, and he's just pinged it straight down the right touchline, where it will go out for a throw about 10 yards from the corner flag. Great kick in rugby union, but not so much here. Ball out for a throw that will be taken by Harrison Burrows. The Blades have only lost 1 game here at Bramall Lane all season by 3 goals, which is the minimum that Bristol City need to win by tonight. That was a shock defeat to Hull back in January here. Ball play forward by Roberts. Playing at left wing back tonight, can play at centre half. The former Brighton man on the left of the 5. It's a lovely turn from him as well. Over on that far touchline, good recovering challenge from Vinny Sosa. It's a ball out of play for a throw.
He's a top player, isn't he? Vinny Sosa. Really grown into that midfield role. I just saw the danger, went out, made a great challenge. But it's been a good start from Bristol City. They're playing the way I expected them to with the lineup, which is wanting to play through. And McCrory in particular is just that out ball if they need it. I think he's got the beating of Burrows in the air if they need to hit that diagonal.
Viner's got possession at the moment. He's found Cam Pring on the left of the centre halves. He went off injured at Luton 3 weeks ago, expected to be out for the season. But he was back on the bench the other night and back involved from the start today. Now Tanner, the one-time Manchester United academy player, back to his goalkeeper O'Leary, and Twine able to pick up the ball in the midfield, and he can drive, running at City Peck. He lays it off to the left-hand side, an opportunity for City to deliver. McCrory attacking it, and it wasn't too far away, out for a corner. I think the deflection which spun it wide might actually have made all the difference, because that might have gone into the top right-hand corner had it not hit a United player on the way through.
Well, I think Twine in particular is picking up some great positions on the half-turn, played it out wide to Roberts, who played that ball in. I just thought that McCrory was going to be favourite to win it. Harrison Burrows right at the last second getting an arm across. McCrory couldn't quite get the header, and it flicked off Burrows.
McCrory, a playoff winner in the past, back in his Ayr United days. First corner of the night goes Bristol City's way, in front of the Kop, away to our right-hand side. Left it in towards the near post. It's taken a flick, but not at the angle that City needed. It fell for Earthy on the edge of the area. Referee Banks saw an infringement though, and a free kick goes Sheffield United's way. I was speaking to some Blades fans earlier, Dean. They were telling me that they genuinely didn't see this as a formality, that they feared that Bristol City would score an early goal, and they felt that despite the fact that the Blades have finished third, it's one of those situations where they've got so much to lose here because everyone's expecting that they're through already. So they thought that an early concession would have such a negative effect that it could have far-reaching implications.
Well, I think also just those results towards the end of the season when the pressure was really on, I think maybe shocked some of the supporters in those performances into having those slight doubts about this evening.
It just fell away from it being a three-way title chase over the last 6 weeks of the season, but they did end up with the best record on the field of any side not to win automatic promotion from this level for 43 years. It shows you how good they've been. It took 24 points on the field more than Bristol City, but it's City that got it here, in towards Twine inside the penalty area. And the off-balance Akmanogic is able to get it away. It's a good ball forward, but Viner's there, head of Cannon, just to work it back for O'Leary, and he clips it out towards Pring on the Bristol City left. They've got to gamble. When you're 3-0 down, they've got to play with a high line. They've got to try and get bodies forward. And we've seen there that when possession is turned over, the Blades really could be able to exploit that on the counter-attack.
But also they probably would have been pleased when they saw the lineups, Kiefer Moore and Cannon, not rapid, either of them by any means, so they can be a little bit more aggressive, having seen that team sheet. But it was a lovely switch out to Roberts on the left hand side moments ago. The cut back to Twine, why he wasn't shooting is beyond me, looking for a flick to a teammate. He's got the quality to strike towards goal in those moments, and you have to gamble with that as well.
Bird playing it forward here, Earthy between the lines, a good ball in for Naki Wells, just forces him wider than he wanted to go. He pulls it back towards McCrory, who was waiting to hit one, and Vinny Sosa nipped him from nowhere and said, I'll have that, and knocked it away. Harmer looked as though he'd given it away. He has. Bird winning it from Peck, and able to play it to his left hand side for Twine. Coming forward on the Bristol City left now is Roberts. Bird towards the edge of the penalty area. Left-footed shot from distance. Cooper can deal with that from Knight. Bristol City asking the questions at the moment at 0-0.
Yeah, they've been excellent tempo, lovely interchange of positions. Bird in towards Knight, who just shifted it onto his left foot took the strike, skimmed off the surface, but pretty simple for Cooper just to pat that to himself.
Now, those are the thoughts of Dean Ashton, the former England striker. And with playoff experience, and more playoff experience with Troy Deeney, who's part of the commentary team tomorrow for much anticipated second leg on Wearside between Sunderland and Coventry. Sunderland leading by 2 goals to 1. And Frank Lampard is the only manager in Championship playoff history who has seen a side lose a first leg at home but still been able to take them to Wembley. Will he be able to repeat that tomorrow? We'll find out together. 7 o'clock, the build-up starts ahead of an 8 o'clock kick-off at the Stadium of Light for Sunderland Coventry here on Talk Sport. Here at Bramall Lane tonight, ball out of play for a throw that Sheffield United will take. Cooper has had to make a couple of saves. He hasn't had a difficult save to make. Cannon's probably had the best chance at the other end. Liam Manning will, I think, feel that his side couldn't have done much more than they've done through the opening 12 minutes here in South Yorkshire. Long throw, flicked on by Moore, and then returned by Bristol City with McCrory looping one over the top, and the veteran Naki Welsh chases after it. And Nogic had a decent start on him and can head it back for Cooper.
Yeah, it's been pretty dominant, isn't it? 72% of the possession for Bristol City. A couple of good moments. And they're going to have times when Sheffield United will create chances, and you've got to then hope that they don't take them. Your goalkeeper has a great game. But you're right, the way they've started, I'll be really pleased that they're controlling the game.
Here's Viner. He's played more than 230 games for Bristol City now. On his right foot, clips it out towards Hayden Roberts, who controls it neatly on his thigh. Immediately faced up by Andre Brooks on the far touchline, the Bristol City left. And City work it back infield. It's now with Tanner. 5 yards inside his own half, just rolling it forward over the halfway line for the Bermuda International Wales. 2 playoff campaigns in his career, and it's been promoted each time. Brooks, after Wales' ball was intercepted. Back towards Akmanogic, now out towards Hamza Chowdhury, who could have a relegation and a promotion on his CV this season. Akmanogic back to his goalkeeper again, and Cooper gets it away. Forward towards halfway. Little nudge on Cannon was clever from Pring. It stopped him jumping for the ball and allowed City the opportunity to win it back, and Twine wins a throw over on the far touchline for Bristol City. They've been very neat and tidy, as you say. Possession has been excellent and all one way. I don't think Chris Wilder will be unduly fazed by that. He's seen his side win plenty of games this season when possession has been in the 30s and 40s. It's in the high 20s at the moment, with Bristol City dominating possession, having a lot of ball in good areas as well.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised though that certainly on Bristol City's left-hand side, Roberts has got so much space, so easy for them just to switch the play out towards him. They're really narrow in the way that they're defending Sheffield United as that 4-4-2.
Too narrow
at the moment, I would say so. It's too easy for Bristol City to play into midfield and out towards their wing back.
Even more off balance as he tried to control one on halfway. He was leaning back and fell over, and it just became a cushioned diving header almost, which fell McCrory's way. Now work back for Viner. And to his left-hand side is Pring, wearing 3 on the left of the back 3 for Bristol City. Now towards Roberts. And again, Brooks makes his way over there now. And Sheffield United haven't been able to get Harmer into the game at all so far. Viner's got it. From him to Tanner. Now McCrory. Play back towards Jason Knight in the Bristol City midfield. Still 0-0 on the night. Sheffield United with this comfortable 3-goal aggregate lead. Chowdhury having to chase one, scampers down towards the corner flag, stops it going out of play for a corner, puts it out of play for a throw instead. The Bristol City are in a hurry to take. They've worked it back for Pring. He'll be able to bring it forward. Can he deliver a cross? Almost better than that square ball near the edge of the penalty area, which Knight ran onto but was knocked away from him. Burrows clears upfield, and Tanner with a slight miss kick has put the ball out of play for a throw that Harmer will take on the Sheffield United left. 0-0.
But that was actually Kiefer Moore that came all the way back to intercept the pass almost just outside his 18-yard box. And what Chris Wilder has done is he sensed that Bristol City were having that advantage in midfield, so he's just squeezed the whole team together and just said, you're not having that space, we're going to sit really deep and not allow you to play through in towards Twine and towards Earthy, and just happy just to sit in a really low shape.
The Blades assistant boss, Sir Alan Nill, just having a word with Robinson, giving him a few tactical instructions. Robinson then receives the ball from a throw, works it back for his goalkeeper Cooper, who's been superb after his signing from Plymouth. 22 clean sheets this season. He's kept a clean sheet every other game in Blades colours. Vinny Sosa's had an excellent season as well. Puts the ball out of play for a throw in challenging Wells that will give Bristol City a put in midway inside their own half. 18 minutes gone, 0-0. They finished 1-1 when the two sides met here a few weeks ago back in March with a stoppage time equaliser from Mark Sykes, who's not available tonight. He's out through injury. Bristol City also without McNally and Williams, who did his ankle ligaments in that first leg, and the suspended Rob Dickey as well. So it's by no means a first choice side that Liam Manning's been able to pick, and indeed he hasn't been able to fill the bench quite. There's one light there. Here is Pring. In no circumstances returned from injury at the perfect time. He's found Viner. Viner gave it away, but in passing it through the midfield straight to Harmer, he wasn't punished because Harmer returned the compliment almost immediately, and Bristol City get it back and then win a free kick. And Viner a little bit fortunate there.
Very, especially Harmer, you'd expect that first touch to be so good, and it was just a little loose.
Wells has played it back. Bird getting it back from Roberts on the Bristol City left, and again there 25 yards outside the Sheffield United penalty area. Earthy's done well, right-footed shot from distance that Cooper has done well to dive onto and just bring under control from Naki Wells' 25-yard effort. It came to Yorker length, but he scooped it up in making the save, and it remains 0-0.
Yeah, it was a really good strike from Naki Wells, and just like a baseball throwing curveball, just dipped and curved towards Cooper, and the handling was perfect.
Here's Knight, the Bristol City captain in the midfield. Calmly worked back for Viner. Viner out to Knight again. Little 1-2 between him and Tanner. Back for Viner once more. Not too far in front of the Bristol City supporters as he whacks that one upfield. Wells going up for it. Akinodzic, who's dealing with him, has got a significant height advantage against the Bermudan, who is much closer to my height than Dean Ashton's, and consequently Akinodzic is always going to have aerial superiority from the balls that are played forward there. The Blades will be able to bring it back forward again with Vinny Sosa, working it between the lines neatly for Harmer. Harmer out towards Brooks, who's going to get there ahead of Roberts over on the right-hand side of the Blades penalty area. He's turned back out, lays it back for Peck. Peck is 15 yards outside the box. Chowdhury that little bit deeper, he's played in. Knocks it forward. Harmer can turn. Vinny Sosa to Peck. Now towards Brooks. Just gliding forward towards the corner of the penalty area. Lays it back for Chowdhury. High hanging ball in from him. Moore knocks it down, but it doesn't break Burrows' way. And Vinny Sosa wins it back and lays it back to Robinson, who'll go all the way back for his goalkeeper. That was better from Sheffield United.
Yeah, and that attack started because Gus Harmer came right off the left-hand side into a roll just in behind the strikers, was able to receive and turn, and that's where he's such a threat.
Pring just clipped over the top. Sheffield United try to win it back with Cannon. Vinny Sosa again doing well under duress. Good strength from him to guide it back for Harrison Burrows. Well, has had an excellent season after his summer arrival from Peterborough. Peck can turn. Vinny Sosa calming things down in his white boots, slowing it down to walking pace. Great understanding he's built up in the engine room with Sidney Peck. Went forward again by Sheffield United, but gobbled up by Viner. Played for by him to the blonde-haired McCrory. Knight with a good ball through the midfield. Wells found it difficult to control it. Chowdhury's fouled him. Referees played the advantage. Wells was very quickly back up on his feet. He worked it out towards Roberts on the left, and it's a Bristol City throw.
And when they can play in towards Wells and Twine and that space in midfield, they're getting the joy. It's when Sheffield United can get back into shape that they're finding it more difficult. As soon as it opens up from a Sheffield United attack, that's where the space is then for Twine.
Here's Bird. Earthy is trying to shepherd the ball into the left-hand side of the penalty area and get on the end of the clip back. He almost did. Cooper had to be at full stretch, stick a right hand above his head and just stop the ball clearing it. That was excellent play from Bristol City.
Well, he didn't give up, did he, there, Aki Wells? Agmadozic did, and then I just thought it was a slightly strange decision to try and dig that up and over Cooper, who could just pour it down to himself. I think that needs to be really flashed along the floor with pace for one of your forwards to tap in or ricochet off a defender and in.
Brain the Gooder here tonight to watch Sheffield United. Harry Maguire is here. Blake's fan as a boy. Manchester United man here to take this particular spectacle in. Chris Kamara is here as well. Great hearing Cammy this morning, incidentally, on TalkSport Breakfast with Ali McCoist and Gabby Agbonlahor from 6 a.m. Chris Wokes on with the boys as well. And tomorrow, England's greatest ever fast bowler, Jimmy Anderson, will be live in the TalkSport studios. That's TalkSport Breakfast from 6 every Monday to Friday. We're midway through the first half, just past the midway stage of the first half here at Bramall Lane tonight. And the South Yorkshire pitch has now completely bathed in shadow. Sun has gone down from behind the stands, but a glorious day in this part of the world. Vinny Sosa knocking the ball forward. It's returned by Viner. Good ball forward through the midfield as well. Earthy is on loan from West Ham, chasing after it. Knocked away though by Robinson. And Brooks can bring it under control on the Sheffield United right with a nice piece of skill. It's 0-0. Still 3-0 on aggregate. And Bristol City hoping for the way back into the game that will just give them a little bit of hope. Sliding challenge comes in, very firm sliding challenge at that, and then another from Chowdhury. Twine can emerge with possession but loses out to Peck. Sensible ball forward from him to his fellow academy product Brooks, who will run towards the edge of the penalty area here for the Blades. He had too many to take on, and Pring and Bird between them could deal with the threat. Then Harmer is in strongly, got the better of McCrory. Ball inside the area, flick header from Moore, sails over the bar.
Yeah, really good strength from Harmer, just using that barrel-shaped body to move McCrory aside, and then again, really good delivery in, arcing in towards goalkeeper Moore, trying to just glance that on, and just gets far too much on it, and just bounces up off his head and high.
Has started 4 of the last 5 games now, Kiefer Moore, having missed 3 months of 2025 with a hernia problem. So when I tell you that he hasn't scored since December, that's the context of it. But it is still an 11-game barren streak for the Welsh international. Tom Cannon alongside him, just 1 in 15 for Sheffield United. So between them, they've only got 1 goal in Sheffield United colours so far in 2025. Still overwhelming favourites to get this done. Odds on for promotion as well, even notwithstanding the fact that if they get through this, they don't know who they're going to be playing yet. Coventry travelling up to Sunderland tomorrow, which is our live game here on TalkSport. We've got all of the action for you from the playoffs. Every single playoff match here on the TalkSport network. From the Championship games, and then League One again on Wednesday. Stockport against Leyton Orient, that controversial first leg in East London. And how will they get on in Stockport Wednesday night? It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. That's on TalkSport 2, as is the other League One game, which is also all square at the moment between Charlton and Wickham, which is an 8 o'clock kickoff Thursday night on TalkSport 2. And then we've got a choice of live Premier League games for you on Friday on the TalkSport network, with Villa Tottenham at 7:30 on TalkSport 2. Chelsea Manchester United at 8 o'clock here on TalkSport. Here and now, Sheffield United are in possession and in control of the tie, even if they're not necessarily in control of the exchanges going on in front of our eyes on the pitch. Here's George Earthy, the youngster playing it back from McCrory. Now Tanner. Poke forward by him towards the edge of the penalty area. McCrory's got it again. First time delivery in from him is easily fielded by Robinson. Play down towards Burrows, who takes a touch and then clears, and then Moore can control that neatly on the left-hand touch. So he's gone for goal from 55 yards. An effort that didn't have the direction, certainly didn't quite have the elevation either, and it just drops into the hands of O'Leary.
No. I don't quite know what Keeper Moore is thinking there. Left foot volley from the sideline of the halfway line. And that's really what Sheffield United have been so far in this first half, is basically, when we get it, we're just going to clip it forwards towards Keeper Moore and Cannon, hope that they can combine. We've not really looked to play through. I think they're very content, as they should be, at 3-0, not to risk a lot.
Yeah, we're 28 minutes in here on TalkSport. Now Sheffield United still haven't had a sight of goal of any real note, just that cannon effort that sailed over the bar, but they haven't had a shot on target yet. Bristol City have already had more tonight than they did down in the West Country on Thursday. But the bottom line from Chris Wilder's perspective is that the Blades' clean sheet is still intact. That's all they need to comfortably make it through this tie. Providing they don't concede 3, they will be fine. Here's Tanner. 4 from him tonight. Now played back inside his own half for Viner. Viner rolling it forward. Exchange of passes with Earthy. Pring to Bird. Vinny Sosa didn't give him any time at all. Wins it back, flicks it back for Peck. Play forward immediately for Cannon. Now Brooks has got it. Sosa going out towards the right flank and receiving it, and then playing it back for Peck again. Passing avenue that's been exploited literally thousands of times over the course of this season. Harmer off the left-hand side in this 4-4-2 for Sheffield United. Back to Chowdhury. Chowdhury to Apologic. And now Peck getting the instruction to turn. It goes through the centre of midfield and then turn back the other way, which drew an angry reaction on the Sheffield United bench from Chris Wilder, who's now giving him the instruction to be a little bit more proactive when he's got the ball in the midfield. Always look forward rather than play another conservative pass, which if you've been critical of the Blades, they've just looked to play it safe, a little bit too safe, a little bit too frequently.
Yeah, they have done, and that's the first time really that Bristol City have just sat off and allowed Sheffield United to keep good possession at the back after what's been a good first half an hour for Bristol City without having that clear-cut chance just to maybe take a breather and reset again.
Sheffield United have got a free kick. Keeper Moore was waiting to receive a long ball pumped forward and was having his shirt pulled. So a free kick that Burrows will stand over here for the Blades. It's about 6 yards inside Bristol City territory. Now the Robins keeping a relatively high line. They're 6 yards or so outside their box. Both arms above the head from Burrows. Clipping it forward here towards the far post. Moore inevitably the target, and inevitably he's won it, but Bristol City easily win the seconds to be able to clear. And it goes past Chowdhury, who will go back for Cooper. Moore stayed down, incidentally, inside the penalty area away to our left-hand side, and the referee stopped play so that he can find out how seriously hurt he is. He's feeling his right knee.
Yeah, it's just the way he landed. That was really hung up from Burrows for him to go and attack, and he got up nice and high, won the header. It's just then, did he land awkwardly on that knee and possibly twisted it as he fell. Still hasn't moved from that seated position that he's in.
And Sheffield United medical staff have raced over to attend to him. And the two sets of players, or the majority of each team, have made their way down to the near side so they can get instructions from their managers. What's the instruction from Liam Manning going to be? more of the same, or does he need a little bit of fine tinkering with the game plan? Because they're getting the possession, but they've only had 2 shots on target on a night where they need to score 3 goals.
Well, I think obviously the possession's been good. The positions they've found themselves has been reasonably good. It's now, it's how much of a risk you take so early on in the numbers that you need to get into the penalty area. I just think at the moment everything has been to feet, but then when it goes wide or in behind, can you get those players in the box to overload? But that's the risk you have to take, knowing you might leave a bit of a gap for Sheffield United.
Well, Moore is still having his right knee looked at. They're just doing some flexing of the leg, putting a little bit of stress through that right knee. No guarantees that he's going to be able to continue necessarily. He's being helped back to his feet now. Big boos from the Bristol City supporters. It was Moore that got that penalty the other night. Remember when he was pulled to the ground by Rob Dickey? Making his way off here, and Moore, a West Country boy himself, from the Riviera. It looks as though he's going to be okay. He's just making his way off towards the near side. The benches, incidentally, for Sheffield United: Gilchrist, McCallum, Holding and Brewster, O'Hare, Ragsaki, Tom Davis and Campbell. Bristol City's outfield subs here are Cowan, Mehmeti, who we were surprised wasn't starting, Bell, Cornick, McGuane, Armstrong and Morrison. Play's going to restart with a drop ball. Sheffield United were in possession when it stopped so that Moore could be attended to. They're temporarily down to 10, but he'll be back on in a moment. And Cooper plays it forward from the edge of the D. With TalkSport, we've got 12 to go to half-time. 0-0. A scoreline which clearly suits Sheffield United. 3-0 up from the first leg. Brooks did really well. Came into a more midfield position and turned it back towards Burrows. He's pumped it forward long. Harmer's won the second ball. He's got there ahead of Tanner. Now Cannon's waiting in the middle. Brooks arriving in the far post. Oh, it was only just too high for him.
So close, wasn't it? Harmer's ball in. He was so clever. That heavy touch from Tanner. He was on it nice and sharp and just flicked it over the sliding challenge. Got his head up. Was looking, waiting for the dart from Brooks. Just fed it into that far post, a fraction too high. But I just love the way Harmer, as he was dribbling towards goal, he constantly had his head up waiting for that movement.
He's got 2 goals in his last 3 games, Andre Brooks, including one off the bench the other night down in Bristol. And had it been 3 or 4 inches taller, he'd have scored there. 0-0. 10 to go to half-time. Kiefer Moore's back on. Max O'Leary clears down towards the Bristol City right-hand side. It's headed back in by McCrory, only as far as Vinny Sosa. Earthy putting the pressure on, but Peck withstands that. Burrows then clips it forward into Bristolian territory, where it's returned by Viner. McCrory goes down, no foul. Sosa flicks it over his shoulder. Tanner does likewise to get the ball back towards halfway. Peck going up for it, and Zoppo in central midfield. Vinny Sosa wins it and plays it via Chowdhury to his goalkeeper. 0-0 on the night. Bristol City won away from home at Millwall and Middlesbrough, at Norwich and Preston, but only one away win to top 9 opposition over the course of the season. In fact, they'd have been lower mid-table if the season's table had been dependent on away form alone. Now an opportunity after a mistake by O'Leary, who cleared it from the left-hand side of his box out of the edge of the penalty area, and he only found Cannon. But there were enough covering defenders, and O'Leary got back quickly himself, and Cannon fired one in on goal, went along the deck, and it was blocked.
Yeah, it was a terrible clearance from O'Leary. I don't know whether he was trying to play into midfield or he was just trying to whack it long and just got it horribly wrong. But Cannon just trying to be really quick to get that strike in with O'Leary out of position, and Pring doing brilliantly to slide in and block.
Dean Ashton alongside me, Jim Proudfoot here at Bramall Lane, 0-0 with 9 minutes to go to half-time. Long throw coming in from Robinson on the Sheffield United right-hand side. The first of those of the night. Moore's interest was piqued for a moment. It nearly got to him. Handball shout, survive! And a shot comes in for the right-hand side, I think, from Burrows. It's just taking a deflection on its way through and goes out for Sheffield United corner. That was close.
Yeah, just fortunately fell, didn't it, for Burrows? Took it on his chest, on the right foot, decent technique, let it drop, trying to volley towards the far post and off the back of Cameron Pring to go wide. And he did well to control that volley, Burrows.
Sheffield United's first corner of the night, 8 minutes before half-time here on TalkSport. 0-0. Harmer. It's an in-swinging delivery, paddled away by O'Leary. Comes on the edge of the penalty area for Burrows, trying his luck again. That one was blocked. Comes out for Chowdhury. Back to the blue-booted Burrows. Left-footed delivery. Out comes O'Leary's not dealt with that particularly convincingly either. Then there's a collision inside the box. Referee says play on. Everybody back on their feet. Not a high ball sent in. And that's a much easier claim from O'Leary. Didn't get stuck in traffic that time. Caught it. And his distribution is exceptional. He's found Nakhi Wells. Wells towards the edge of the penalty area. Forced wide. Best he can hope for from there's a corner, and he's got that, delivering across that hits City Peck.
Yeah, I mean, two unique clearances. First of all from O'Leary, aerially coming out and whacking it like a volleyball player out of his area, and then claimed brilliantly, brilliant throw out straight away towards Nakhi Wells, who got his head up, saw that he had absolutely no support whatsoever, so just tried to delay and win his team a corner. It was brilliant.
Having seen the replay of the one that it looks as though O'Leary made a mess of, he was having his shirt pulled quite considerably. In comes this Bristol City corner. It's worked short to George Earthy on the corner of the penalty area, and he just wanted a second touch. Chowdhury's denied it, and the counter-attack is on. 3 against 3. Chowdhury forward for Harmer, and Harmer's made a mess of it. Now Brooks making a gallivanting run to his right, and I don't know whether he's tried to bend it into his path and mishit it. He's ended up having a shot towards the near post, and O'Leary saved it easily.
Yeah, it was a great break, and Harmer just got his head up again, saw the run from Brooks, and just tried to feed it in behind with the outside of his right foot. And just as he got to the ball, his foot didn't curl enough, hit it straight on, straight to O'Leary. And what could have been a beautiful assist ended up looking slightly embarrassing.
Does go down as the first shot on target for Sheffield United, even though it wasn't meant. Kolodzic has done well with Chowdhury sliding in to try and get there ahead of Robertson. Slightly misjudged it. Ball went past the pair of them, but Bosnian international mopped up. There's an extra ball on the pitch just for a moment that has now been removed. Peck through the midfield for Harmer. Great turn. Good run to his left from Burrows. Inside the penalty area, McCrory very quickly on the scene. So Burrows has to turn away. Harmer for Peck, and back for Gus Harmer again. Now Peck can turn. Bottom left corner of the penalty area as he sends one in. Beautiful shape on it. Headed away by Roberts. Out of play for a Sheffield United corner. 0-0.
Yeah, it's a decent ball from City Peck. And he should be asking the question, we're playing with two centre forwards, where were you? Where was the movement? Where was the interchange of positions, the crossovers as two forwards? Wasn't there.
Do you like Peck?
I do. I think he's terrific. Yeah. I mean, alongside D'Souza as well, they formed a fantastic partnership.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic. A player at 20, perhaps not on the radar of a huge amount of supporters outside of Sheffield, but every time I see him, I think he's a wonderful talent. Real credit to the Sheffield United Academy. And the Blades with the corner, it's their second. Plenty of pushing and shoving going on right in front of O'Leary. It's Robinson that's in there trying to make life difficult for him. Referee keeping an eye on everything. Now comes the corner in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Kiefer Moore scores. They just couldn't deal with the aerial threat. Everybody in front of the goalkeeper. That allowed Kiefer Moore a bit bit of space, deflection on its way in, and that is job done. The Blades cut down Bristol City's hopes. They lead 1-0. His first goal of 2025, making it 4-0 on aggregate, and the Blades are Wembley bound.
Well, you've got to be sure, if you're O'Leary coming out, you've got to make sure that you're going to get there. The big oak tree, Keeper Moore just gets up and hangs and waits for that beautiful delivery from Burrows, curling in towards the goalkeeper. He did, however, have his shirt pulled, O'Leary, once again. That maybe just stopped him getting to the ball. No VAR, no one will see that. Keeper Moore doesn't care, just nodded it past into the open net.
The pivotal moment of the first leg came just before half-time, as we're approaching the break here on the south side of Sheffield tonight. Another pivotal moment just before half-time. Keeper Moore with the goal, and Bristol City now need 4 in less than 50 minutes. It's 4-0 to the Blades on aggregate. Cooper with the clearance. Moore going up for, he's done so from an offside position. And the Sheffield United goal scorer has given Bristol City a free kick. Would have meant a lot to him. His first goal in 12. He actually looked pretty emotional, having put it in one of the longer goal droughts of his career. Now over. And at a big moment as well. 1-0 to Sheffield United, and the Blades fans singing at Wembley for the first time tonight. Vinny Sosa knocking it square through the midfield for Harmer. Getting it back, then hitting a more aerial pass out towards Chowdhury. Chowdhury playing with a confidence that we haven't always seen when he's had a Leicester shirt on. But really looking the part in this team at right back. Burrows chipping it over the top here. Cannon's going to chase after it. Viner's there first, goes back for O'Leary. O'Leary side-footing the ball outside the penalty area to Pring, who's under pressure from Harmer. He's fouled him. Free kick to Bristol City. You made the point, no VAR. Do you think the goal would have been turned over had there been VAR?
Possibly. He definitely had his shirt pulled, Max O'Leary. I'm surprised there wasn't more said about it, because it would have impeded him, and he was a fraction away from getting a touch on it. Keeper Moore just then got ahead of him, and that pull of the shirt, I think, did impact his ability to get off the ground enough to get a punch on the ball.
Got a minute to go to half-time. There could easily be 3 added minutes at the end of this first half. Burrows stepping forward, the ball intended for George Earthy. He's won it back well, finding Moore. The Blades beginning to hit their straps now. Moore trying his luck from distance, it and hit Bird right in front of him, and then was cleared by Viner on the edge of the penalty area. The Robins with a long ball forward down the other end that Wells chases after a beat, and he was never going to get there. And Akinogic watches it over the line down by the corner flag for a Sheffield United throw. The 45th minute, Sheffield United 1, Bristol City 0 here on TalkSport. The Blades fans singing in Wembley, but who will they be playing there? Could be Sunderland, could be Coventry, and you'll now find out together tomorrow night on Wearside. Build up at 7 ahead of an 8 o'clock kickoff, with Sunderland having won the first leg 2-1 in the West Midlands on Friday night. Will they be able to hold that advantage? Peck letting the ball run, 3 minutes to be added. Here's Harmer running at McCrory, just stops, passes the ball round the side for Burrows. Moore letting it run, but Roberts can pick it up inside the Bristol City penalty area, and he'll be able to get it away. Long clearance towards halfway. Ball actually bounces on the halfway line and is calmly nodded by Robinson back down for Peck. Back out towards Chowdhury. Chowdhury getting it forward towards Vinny Sosa, back for Akinogic, and now here's Jack Robinson again. 1-0 to Sheffield United on the night, and they've got a 4-goal aggregate lead.
Yeah, and just going back to the goal, Burrows with the delivery, fantastic, the way that curled in towards the danger zone. And he's had an excellent half, Burrows, developing as a player all the time. Good combination, him and Harmer.
Brooks coming forward. Found himself sandwiched between 2 Bristol City players. There's no foul. Chris Wilder was beseeching the fourth official, Rob Jones, to tell Peter Banks to award a free kick. He didn't. But Sheffield United now have the ball a little bit deeper with a throw that will take over on the far touchline. Midway through the 3 additional minutes, the end of this first half. 1-0. Courtesy of Kiefer Moore's header 5 minutes ago. Vinny Sosa. Back towards Robinson. Robinson down towards Burrows. Burrows controlling the ball on the left-hand side. Much happier playoff semi-final for him than the last one he played in when he was part of that Peterborough team that suffered the epic second leg collapse. Chowdhury. Ball headed away. Peck getting forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Cross comes in for the Sheffield United. Right, O'Leary kept honest by that with Moore bearing down on the far post. O'Leary's handling was good. He's bowled it out. An opportunity for Bristol City to bring it away with Tanner. Tanner to Bird and back again. Tanner then to Viner. Viner to his left for Pring. And out towards Hayden Roberts. Roberts, who came on at half-time in the first leg, starting tonight in the remodelled Bristol City back line. Just see McCrory switch flanks from left to right, and Hirakawa left out. Here is McCrory right on cue. As Bristol City look for an equaliser with the last move of the first half. Bird's ball in, too straight and claimed easily by Cooper.
Well, after a good first half an hour, and that's what they had, that was their moment, their time for something to happen. And then Sheffield United have been very good in the final 15 minutes of this half to get that goal to make it 4-0 on aggregate.
And that's the last action of the first 45 minutes. Crisis averted as far as Sheffield United are concerned. Got a little bit tense and pensive with small T's and P's. Bristol City having plenty of action in good areas, but not really testing Michael Cooper. And Kiefer Moore broke his long goal drought to head Sheffield United ahead on the night and to the playoff final. 1-0, 4-0 on aggregate with 45 minutes to go. They're in fine voice, they're in a fine position. Sheffield United starting the second half, leading 1-0 on the night, 4-0 on aggregate here on TalkSport. Bristol City kicking from right to left and United attacking the Cop end away to our right. And in possession with a throw that'll be taken over on the far touchline with Burrows. Just echoing what you guys were saying at half-time about the job that Liam Manning has done, and there's such a big correlation between wage bill and where you should be finishing, where most sides do finish. So the top three finished in order, first, second, third, Leeds, Burnley, Sheffield United, in accordance with the three biggest wage bills in the division. Bristol City finished sixth, their wage bill the 14th biggest in the championship this year, only half that of the Blades. They're in possession, 15 yards outside the Sheffield United penalty area, the ball played in towards McCrory. Little layoff from Jason Knight. No changes in personnel as of yet. Knight trying to wriggle away on the edge of the D. Just got caught after he played the ball back to Pring. It was Brooks with the challenge. And Sheffield United have conceded a free kick a yard from the edge of the D, marginally left of centre. This is a really good position for the likes of Scott Twy. And if they're going to find a way back into it, Bristol City, this is the kind of moment that they've just got to exploit.
Yep, just trod on his toes there, Brooks. And Scott Twine couldn't have been quicker to get to the ball, to set this up and line this one up with those gold Adidas boots that he's got on. To see this up and over. He's some technician, by the way, from these positions.
Oh, he's got a great catalogue. Good CV in the past from this kind of area. He'll fancy this. So Sheffield United have lined up a 4-man wall. Bristol City have put 2 men in front of them as close to that 4-man wall as they can get. Twine hits it. Well saved, Cooper. Wasn't in towards the corner. He had to take 3 or 4 steps to his right. Got his hands above his head. Helps it over the bar and out for a corner.
Yeah, he's annoyed, Scott Twine, because the technique was absolutely what he was after, but the direction wasn't too central. Easy for Cooper just to pat that over. Either side with that technique and the power that he used would have had a great chance.
City's first corner of the second half. They're trailing 1-0. It's in towards the near post and easily volleyed away. That wasn't Twine's best either. He'll retrieve the ball from on top of one of the white cones around the side of the pitch so that he can take this throw quickly. Now gets it back. It's another delivery that's a little bit too low and flat. Akmanogic can head that away. Goes out to the Bristol City right-hand side for Tanner. Back from him to Viner, and now down towards Cam Pring. Pring, the deepest of Bristol City's outfield players for a moment, but still in United territory. Works it forward towards Roberts. Back for Viner. Viner sends one skidding out towards the right-hand side for McCrory. The Scotsman laying it back for Tanner. And Tanner goes back for Viner again. These are the 2 teams. Cooper in goal for Sheffield United. Chowdhury, Akmanogic, Robinson and Burrows. Brooks, Peck, Vinny Sosa and Harmer. Moore and Cannon. And for Bristol City, O'Leary, Tanner, Viner and Pring. McCrory, Knight, Bird and Roberts. Earthy and Twine. And Wells. Roberts laying it back for Jason Knight, his captain. Good possession this for Bristol City. They're not going anywhere with it at all at the moment. Now they can work it. A more constructive ball through the midfield for George Earthy. Youngster on loan from West Ham, laying it off to his right-hand side. Destined to be his last game for Bristol City. Certainly will be of this spell, you would imagine, unless there's an extraordinary turnaround late in the game. Don't know what will happen next season. He's benefited from a year of championship football without a shadow of a doubt. He's got it again here and unleashes from the edge of the box with a right-footed effort that's easily blocked and goes out of play for City front. Yeah, again trying to just work it in. Earthy there, receiving on the back foot, looking to turn and strike. Red and white shirts in front though, sat deep, defending. Here's Roberts, left-footed ball in from him, volleyed away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Burrows. Viner, down out of the right-hand side for the retreating Earthy. Earthy playing it back towards Tanner. Bristol City dominating possession early in the second half, as they did early in the first, where they weren't really able to make too much headway despite the impressive amount of possession that they had. Now they've lost out. Makes a mistake. Pring's lost out to Cannon, who's got more to his left-hand side. Cannon trying to play it into him, but Viner read his intentions and was able to effect the block and put it behind for a corner. Yeah, the first press was good from Cannon. Won the ball back, driving towards goal, just lacking pace. That's all it was. Viner came across, closed the angle because of the pace that he had, the advantage. Cannon did the right thing in trying to find his strike partner, but the gap was closed. Great ovation for Burrows as he makes his way over to take the corner in front of the Kop. Spots it down on the corner quadrant. Again, raises both arms above his head. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery. Score from their last corner. Moore again trying to get away from Viner. It's played in short. Brooks has left it. Harmer, right-footed effort, deflected it in. It's 2-0, 5-0 on aggregate. And if there was any lingering doubt, that has now evaporated. Brilliantly worked set piece. Corner taken across the edge of the penalty area. It looked as though Brooks was going to hit it. He let it run for Harmer. There's a little bit of luck with the deflection, but his right-footed shot was low and true, and then looped up off a Bristol City player into the net. They're 5 goals to the good on aggregate, heading for Wembley, and they're going to be 90 minutes away from an immediate return to the Premier League. It's a well-worked set piece, as we now often see in English football.
burrows in towards Brooks, low along the floor into the penalty area, just lets it run through his legs to Gus Harmer, and it is the filthiest deflection you will ever see. Up and over McCrory's foot, looped towards the far post, kissed in off that far post. They don't care. It's really time to relax for Sheffield United.
Party time at Bramall Lane. They can sit back and enjoy the remaining 37 minutes, as much as you can ever enjoy a playoff tie if you've got some skin in the game. These Sheffield United fans will be able to do that now. Now it's all about whether they can break their duck. They've lost 3 playoff finals at this level, most recently back in 2009 against Burnley. 16 years on, they're going to get another chance. Goal scored by Gus Harmer, who has scored in a championship playoff final before. That was for Coventry a couple of years ago when they ended up on the wrong side of that penalty shootout to Luton Town. 2-0 to Sheffield United. 5-0 they lead on aggregate. And the stoical Bristolians away to our left-hand side. Still, the majority of them bobbing up and down, singing, putting a brave face on it as best they can. They want to throw down on the left wing by the corner flag. They now know this isn't going to be their season. They've waited since the days of Trevor Tainton and Tom Ritchie back in 1980 to be able to get themselves back into the top flight of English football. It's going to extend another year, that long absence. Long ball played in here, headed by Wells, comfortably caught by Cooper. The party has well and truly started.
Yeah, the atmosphere in here now, absolutely terrific. Actually, fair play to the Bristol City fans. They're bouncing themselves, but they can enjoy this, the Sheffield United fans. I'm surprised. I was surprised at half-time. Surely now, those players, off you come. Harmer, Vinny D'Souza, Peck, they'd all be off by now for me. No need whatsoever to still be on.
Well, particularly when you see Harmer indulging in a moment like that, where a ball has just been played relatively close to him and he's thrown himself at it, sliding in to try and win it back. Cannon's got it forward here for Kiefer Moore. Harmer making a run to his left-hand side. Brooks unmarked right-hand side of the penalty area. Moore thought he was fouled, ended up on his knees. Referee said play on, and George Earthy brings it away for Bristol City. He's laid it back to McCrory. Forward from him to Max Bird. McCrory's got it again. Sheffield United subs are out warming up, and they went through a pretty strenuous warm-up at half-time with the fitness coach. Ball inside the Blades box here. Akbadogic has tried to get it away, not very effectively. It's cleared out for Max Bird, whose left-footed effort deflects high up from the edge of the area. Off Peck, doesn't make the edge of the box. Play forward again down the Bristol City left, and the referee has spotted an infringement. Pring not happy with the decision. Brooks is down, and it's a free kick to the Blades. 2-0 to Sheffield United. 2 goals in 10 minutes either side of half-time through Moore and Harmer. They're 5 up on aggregate and heading for Wembley. That playoff final, Saturday week, May the 24th. And it's live on TalkSport. This Saturday, got the FA Cup final for you. Next Saturday, the Championship playoff final. In between times, join us in Bilbao for Manchester United against Tottenham Hotspur in the Europa League final. That is a week Wednesday here on TalkSport. Akbadogic with a free kick for Sheffield United that he's worked behind square. Robinson's got it now. Peck goes back to his goalkeeper. And these are South Yorkshire songs of ecstasy and delight. Moore, twice, misjudging a bouncing ball in the midfield. Then Peck got caught. The referee says there was nothing wrong with that challenge, but he limps away, City Peck. Bristol City are going to be making changes. They're going to be making a triple change. We're going to see Mehmeti, Hirakawa and Maguire all come on. Chris Wilder still, surprisingly, keeping his powder dry.
Well, look, you've got to prioritise your top players. You need them fit and fresh. Take them off. They just don't need to be out there. It's done.
Ball play forward down the Bristol City right. McCrory willingly chased it, was never going to get there. So let's see what the changes are for Bristol City. First man coming off is Twine, and Mehmeti will come on to replace him. Mehmeti, the Albanian international, who's the Robins top scorer this season with a dozen. Second change, we'll see Max Bird come off, and he'll be replaced by Marcus McGuane, who won the League One playoff final with Oxford last season. Is it going to be McCrory who will come off, or maybe Roberts for Hirakawa? Actually, it's Earthy, so there's going to be a slight reshuffle with that. Earthy off and Hirakawa on. 58 on the clock. Sheffield United 2, Bristol City 0. 5-0 on aggregate here on TalkSport. And here's the former England international Dean Ashley.
Well, Sheffield United are going to go into the playoff final as favourites. You know, this has been as pretty convincing as it gets in a semi-final in the playoffs, and you know, obviously there's changes going to be made, but the game's done.
Mehmeti might break Hirakawa's way on the edge of the penalty area. He set it up for Knight. Knight left-footed effort. Oh, that was close. Cooper just stood watching. He peered nervously over his right shoulder, but the shot cleared the junction of post and bar. Bristol City have actually put Hirakawa on as an inside forward alongside Mehmeti in support of Naki Wells. So McCrory and Roberts staying as the wing-backs. And Knight now in the midfield alongside McGuane. The back three stayed the same. Ball out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the Sheffield United right. The changes are now imminent. I can see Ryan Brewster is getting ready, and he'll be coming on in a moment. And O'Hare as well. It could be three by the time they come on. Another shot from the penalty area is deflected. Cannon's effort hitting Viner, looping up, but looping over the bar and out of play for a corner.
Yeah, again, just sloppy play from Pring. Slipped as he tried to check back inside. Cannon was onto it quickly, got it out of his feet, might have fouled Pring anyway, took the shot on. Viner, absolutely brilliant sliding challenge from Viner, because Cannon thinks he's going to score.
So corner to Sheffield United in front of the Kop. This might well be Harmer's last contribution of the night. It's another right-footed in-swinger, hit him very deep. Moore heading it down, left-footed clip towards goal by Burrows. It was going wide. It hit a Bristol City player anyway, and now the Blades have got to break and try and get back quickly. They've been able to do that to stop Mehmeti making too much ground. The Sheffield United bench not happy. Chris Wilder not happy with a decision that had been made. Now they can make the changes. So Brewster for Brooks. Straight swap on the right flank. That's the first change. Great ovation for Brooks as he makes his way off. Also going to see Tyrese Campbell come on, and Callum O'Hare. Tom Cannon makes way. And is it also going to be Kiefer Moore who will be coming off, I wonder? Yes, it is. So Moore, Cannon and Brooks off. Brewster, O'Hare and Campbell on to replace them. And Moore turns and applauds. Three sides of Bramall Lane as he leaves the field. His goal drought over. After that goal 3 minutes before half-time, Tyrese Campbell on to replace him.
Am I going over the top in saying, why on earth is Harmer still out there? Why on earth is Vinny D'Souza out there? To me, the two most important players Sheffield United have. Why stay out there? It's just that's strange to me. If they suddenly pick an injury up when it's just not needed, I just think that's odd.
The only thing I can think of, and you'll know much better than me. It's 12 days until the playoff final. Does he feel that he needs just to get a few more miles in the legs, or is that just a ridiculous comment to make when you're 50 games into a season?
No, I think it's a case of, keeping them sharp, of course, but these are fit players that have played all season.
Ball played in towards O'Hare. He's dragged it in for Campbell, and he's just wide of the far post.
Oh, so unselfish, first of all, from Harmer with a lovely flick round the corner to O'Hare. O'Hare really should take this on himself, should try and whip this towards the far post as it sat beautifully for him. Instead, he was unselfish, tried to find Campbell, who just missed his kick completely as it was played across.
Campbell in double figures this season. He's another, though, that is in need of a goal. He's on 7 without since he netted in March against Coventry. And Callum O'Hare scored his first goal for a while the other night down in Bristol. First goal in 26 games in that first leg for him. Bristol City knock it away. They're 5 down on aggregate, 2-0 down tonight. In possession here with McGuane. He's done well to work it forward towards Mehmeti. He tried to feed the ball on the turn, the Albanian, out towards the Bristol City left for Roberts. But Brewster's won it back. Brewster exchanging passes with O'Hare. Campbell was in an offside position as they looked to try and play the ball forward early, so Peck just worked it back instead. He recognised that was the fact, and he's gone back for Robinson at the heart of the back line. A reminder, coming up tomorrow night for you, Sunderland against Coventry. 2-1 to Sunderland after the first leg, and that is live from Wearside tomorrow night. Troy Deeney alongside Adrian and myself for that game tomorrow night, which kicks off at 8, after a 7 o'clock build-up from the Stadium of Light tomorrow here on TalkSport. Peck out towards Burrows, clipped in from him. O'Hare trying to just feed it out towards the right-hand side of the box for Brewster. Couldn't get the touch that he wanted. Vinny Sosa plays it forward. Harmer, the little magician for Sheffield United, wearing 8, orchestrating everything, the EFL Player of the Year. But still out there, much to Dean's frustration. Akmanogic. Here's Hamza Chowdhury.
The thing is, we're in that position where none of the players want to be out there anymore. If you said to them both, can we stop, they would. O'Hare, and even Harmer might be thinking, why am I still out here? I'm your best player, and I know it. Rest me. Look after me.
What do you do under those circumstances? Do you have a good enough relationship with the manager that you say, okay, that's it, Gaffer, we're 5 up, it's only 25 minutes to go? Or are you kind of duty bound to carry on going? Does it reflect badly on you if you ask me?
I think you'd have to have an absolutely unbelievable relationship with the manager to do that. Or you just pretend that you've felt something and then come off.
Oh, you cynic. That sort of thing surely doesn't happen 12 days before a trip to Wembley. Oh, you injured, are you? Okay. See you next year. Here's Viner. Long diagonal is overhit for Roberts, who willingly chased after it on the left flank. It's gone out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Sheffield United right.
I mean, when you know you're one of the best players, you know you're not going to be dropped, so you want to protect yourself. I wouldn't want to be out there now in case I got injured, in case a Bristol City player clattered through me.
Armour playing it down the inside left channel here. Still orchestrating everything for Sheffield United. Getting it back from Campbell, working it briskly into the feet of O'Hare. Back out to Campbell again. Now Harmer takes over for a third time. Good passes from close range, this from Sheffield United. O'Hare and Burrows now involved. And Burrows has it again. The Ole's coming out from the United fans. Robinson. Akmanogic inside the centre circle, back for Vinny Sosa. Guided forward from him, and the boozer, there's O'Hare on the slide, can't bring it under control. It was delivered a little bit too speedily through the midfield for him. Another change imminent for Bristol City, and it's the perennial sub Sam Bell, who's going to be coming on in a moment. Back he goes for Pring. Adrian mentioned at half-time that these two have met in the playoffs before. It was back in 1988, and it was the old format playoffs where you could get relegated or promoted from them between the second and third tier. Bristol City beat Sheffield United, which relegated them. Chris Wilder in the Blades team for one of those games. I say revenge is a dish best served cold. It's taken 37 years, but he really will be enjoying the moment. Bristol City make the change. Off comes Pring. Sam Bell comes on. It's his 23rd appearance of the season, and 22 of them have been as a sub. His father also played in the playoffs for City back in 2003. Mickey, part of the Robin side that lost to Cardiff that year. Bona fide Bristol City legend. We're midway through the second half here on TalkSport. Still Sheffield United leading Bristol City by 2-0. They're 5 up on aggregate after Moore and Harmer scored the goals.
I'm sorry, I can't let it go. Can you imagine, the atmosphere's terrific, the excitement can you imagine if Gus Harmer or Vinny D'Souza picked up an injury now at the end, and what that would kind of do, just a tiny bit, to the atmosphere, to the thoughts of the Sheffield United fans, to the management, if one of those players suddenly got injured. I can't let it go.
Well, they've got 2 changes left at their disposal, and it looks as though one might be made shortly. Here comes Hirakawa for Bristol City, and this inside right roll is that little bit deeper actually as he lays it off for Jason Knight. Knight out to the Bristol City right hand side, ball laid off by Bell, and now played back into the centre circle for Roberts, who's now dropped in at centre half. The change being made, Pring has come out of that position, so Bell's playing at left wing back and Roberts has gone to the left of the 3. Sheffield United are going to be bringing Raksaki on in a moment for Harmer. Well, we'll wait and see. Bell trying to find a way through, can't do so. Knocked away by Vinny Sosa, a long ball out of the Sheffield United left-hand side, easily repelled by Tanner's header, and it comes back down through the midfield again for Jason Knight. Bristol City very much in the territory looking for a consolation. McCrory trying to get in the penalty area, sees his effort cleared. City win the second ball again, comes out for Roberts, who's let fly. That took a little nick on its way through, but spun it actually into the hands of Cooper rather than away from him, and it's still 2-0.
Yeah, it did help him, didn't it? Because it would have been an outstretched save if he needed to make it. Instead it came right towards him, he could take it and gather it in the belly.
A crowd of a little over 26,500, plenty of empty seats actually away to our left-hand side tonight in the Bristol City end. The ball is cleared from our left by Cooper. Brought down here by Harmer. Makes his way forward. It's a little body check off the ball. He's able to pass it out towards O'Hare. Clever little flick round the corner from him. Pull back towards Harmer. O'Hare, Brewster. His effort was blocked. And Bell should be able to bring it away down the Bristol City left. He's knocked it into Chowdhury and out of play for a throw. So here's the change. You've got your wish. Gus Harmer's coming off.
As he should have done at half-time, if I'm honest. And he finally gets his rest. The cotton wool is waiting in the technical area to be wrapped around him.
What an ovation he gets. Another season in which he's really given these Blades fans so much joy. One game left for him for Sheffield United this season, and it could be against his former employer Coventry. We'll find out whether it is tomorrow. They've got to overturn a 2-1 first leg home defeat to Sunderland in a game that takes place this time tomorrow. Bell getting on the end of the throw, and that's live on TalkSport tomorrow, of course, and then the League One playoff semi-final second legs follow Wednesday at Stockport, Thursday at Charlton. Well, those games are live for you on TalkSport 2. And then we've got a double bill of Premier League action for you Friday night. Aston Villa against Spurs is over on TalkSport 2. and Chelsea's game against Manchester United. Talk Sport. And both of those games taking place Friday night, 7:30 on TalkSport 2, 8 o'clock on TalkSport. The FA Cup final on Saturday, and the Championship playoff final the following Saturday, with the League One final and the League Two final to come on the following 2 days of that bank holiday weekend as well. And we've also got the Europa League final in between times as well. 72 goals, Sheffield United 2, Bristol City 0. The ball worked down through the midfield by McGuane, and now played back towards Viner. Viner goes out to the Bristol City right. 17 to go. And the Robins have got it in the midfield. Just played back. Bell waiting for the ball in plenty of space on the Bristol City left. Going towards the edge of the penalty area. Tries a little trick. Can't find a way through past Raksaki, player on loan from Crystal Palace. And he's won a free kick. They've made very clever use of the loan market this season, Sheffield United. They've got so many on loan. Chowdhury, Gilchrist, Holding, Suter, Raksaki, Clark, Brayton Diaz. Well, there was a lot of uncertainty around the club this time last year after the relegation, but they have done a very effective job of being able to utilise that loan market.
They have. I think the worry always is that you then wonder when those players go back, if you do get to the Premier League, where's the recruitment from there on.
Bell with a mistake. Raksaki to O'Hare, off Viner and out of play for a corner.
Because you've had this way of playing with those players that you've utilised in the loan market, and maybe they're not available for the next season, and your team looks very different all of a sudden.
So another corner to Sheffield United, which will be taken on the right flank, and again Harrison Burrows comes across to take it. A lot of congestion in front of Bristol City goalkeeper O'Leary. Then comes the delivery, a left-footed in, swinging towards the edge of the 6-yard box. O'Hare going up for it, was knocked away from him. Right-footed effort from Brewster was a touch optimistic and easily blocked. It comes out for Chowdhury. Chowdhury back down towards Burrows. He's back outside the penalty area. Lays it back for the dark-haired Chowdhury, who will turn and play back towards halfway, and Peck's there, and he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. 15 minutes to go. 2-0 to Sheffield United on the night. 5-0 they lead on aggregate. O'Hare down towards Raksaki. They'll take it down towards the corner flag and then come in almost along the byline. Plays it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Bell defended it well. He forced him to play a brisk ball under a little bit of pressure, and as a consequence he missed his target, and McCrory's going to be able to bring it away for Bristol City. Midway inside Sheffield United's territory.
It's now that training ground feel, isn't it, from this game. Sheffield United, absolutely no interest really, just keeping a shape, allowing Bristol City to keep the ball like you would in training, just to try and manoeuvre them out the way. But can they get themselves at least a goal?
McCrory trying to provide it here. Cross comes inside the penalty area. Hirakawa tried to turn out of the way, and the ball then hit him as a result of that. And now Sheffield United might be able to break. O'Hare playing it down the right-hand side. Raksaki just slowing his stride as he picked up possession. That frustrated the crowd, his lack of willingness to really try and take his man on. He's got it again now down towards the corner flag. Scooping it cleverly inside the penalty area, and it wasn't far away from Peck. What a run he made. Down the inside right channel, he took a touch. He fired it towards the top left-hand corner, and he wasn't far away.
Yeah, clever, wasn't he? Just saw that space, didn't he, open up. Raksaki playing it in. That first touch maybe wasn't quite what he wanted, and just lifted slightly, but then tried to side volley it to the far corner. Definitely did take a deflection. He was saying that to the referee, Peter Banks, but well spotted the space, couldn't quite execute the volley.
It's probably the one thing that he doesn't really have in his game. When I say doesn't really have goals in his game, he's never scored. but he gets himself into some pretty good positions, City Peck. You think it's only going to be a matter of time. Got everything else, I think. Bell.
It's easy to forget, isn't it? Arblaster and the start he made. Sidney Peck wasn't probably even really considered to have the season that he has done.
Yeah, Arblaster, who captained the team at the age of 20 prior to his injury that he picked up in the Sheffield derby back in November, the first of the season's Steel City derbies that we brought you on TalkSport 2. It's a knee problem. It was so impressive in a loan spell at Port Vale last season that he was recalled and became the permanent fixture in the heart of the Premier League midfield for Sheffield United. And they've got him to come back at some stage soon. Won't be this season. Bell, good challenge by Chowdhury. It's gone out of play down by the corner flag. A little bit of uncertainty whether it's a throw or a corner. I think it is a throw. Tom Davis is going to be coming on for Sheffield United in a moment. That'll be their final change. 12 minutes to go. 2-0 to the Blades. They're 5 up on aggregate. And they know they're going to Wembley. Trains and hotels being booked. McGuane. Through the midfield. Right-footed effort. Well worth an attempt. It was a great strike from Tanner. He was 30 yards out. Arrowed one towards the top left-hand corner and gave Cooper a little bit of exercise.
Yeah, terrific strike. And Cooper didn't move to start with. Slight deflection on it as well. Took it towards the top corner. Must have been slightly unsighted, but as soon as he did see it, he just rose to his right-hand side to parry it wide.
In comes the corner from the Bristol City left-hand side. It's easily headed away. Comes down through the midfield for McGuane. To Hirakawa. The Japanese who won promotion to the top flight in his homeland before he's moved to Bristol City. Worked forward now towards Bell as that taking a touch off Chowdhury. No, it's Bell who got the last touches out of play for a goal kick, and both sides will make a change. Firstly, Sheffield United, and Vinny Sosa makes way belatedly. 11 minutes to go. He comes off and Tom Davis will come on to replace him, and Bristol City are going to be bringing Harry Cornick on.
Again, a lot later than I was expecting, but another player that needs protecting because of his influence on the Sheffield United team.
Another player gets a marvellous ovation as he makes his way off the field. Tom Davis on to replace him, the former Everton man. Cornick is coming on to replace Naki Wells. Harry Cornick making his 50th substitute appearance for Bristol City today. So he played 85 minutes all season. He was in the Luton side that lost the Championship playoff semi-final 3 years ago under Nathan Jones. He's being introduced too late to do anything about this. Could get worse though yet. As the ball is with O'Hare. Offside flag up. He's flashed it right across the goal. But he wouldn't have counted anyway. It's a free kick to Bristol City.
I think it's because it wasn't intended for him. It was Brewster who just poked the ball in towards Tyrese Campbell. He was trying to wriggle free to take the shot on, and then the clearance just ricocheted off him in towards O'Hare's path. It was offside anyway.
You're listening to Sheffield United against Bristol City in EFL Game Day Live on TalkSport with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. 9 to go. Sheffield United 2, Bristol City 0. 5-0 on aggregate, and there was any jeopardy at all after the first leg. That has long since disappeared tonight. Talk about the football we've got coming up. It's not just football here on the TalkSport Network. Don't forget, you're also your exclusive home of the Lions Tour. We'll be bringing you every scrum, tackle and try. Get you closer to the action than ever before with live commentary of all 3 test matches, plus the warm-up games, as well as exclusive content from Australia. The TalkSport Network, the only place on national radio to listen to the British and Irish Lions. That's all coming your way over the summer. Bristol City in possession. Vinny Sosa actually just making his way down the tunnel here at Bramall Lane, but I don't think that suggests any problem at all. Not being helped down there. The comfort break. Ball out to the Sheffield United left from Brewster. He's playing through the middle here with O'Hare, Raksaki on the right. United play back through the midfield towards Peck. Taking it through the centre circle and then going back for Chowdhury. Apanogic. Now Robinson into the feet of Brewster. Brewster has it again. Left-footed ball down the line. An intelligent pass. Campbell over there. Good ball in from him as well. It's O'Hare! 3-0. And a repeat in South Yorkshire from that we saw in the southwest. Callum O'Hare off the bench to score again. 3-0 on the night. 6-0 on aggregate.
Well, that wasn't steel. That was just liquid metal. It was just gorgeous from Sheffield United. Ball played in and then fed down the left-hand side. Burrows with a brilliant run once again. And how unselfish, how cool was that from Burrows, just to let it run through his legs, knowing O'Hare was there. He just took his time, side foot, crisp, into the back of the net. Brilliant goal from Sheffield United.
Callum O'Hare, another player, will be hoping that it's Coventry that make it through so he can play against his former employer. Going to be hitting Wembley in some form, Dean. When you bear in mind that the results just disappear towards the end of the season, they're inconsistent here, particularly 4 defeats in 13 after winning 9 of the first 10. And they came into the playoffs having lost 4 of their last 7 games. But goal droughts are ending. They've had 2 3-0 wins, and they will be going to Wembley in very confident mood.
Yeah, you just wonder, isn't it, those goals being scored, that confidence building. That defence has been solid.
Another clean sheet beckons at the moment. Bristol City still trying to do something about that. Bell playing it forward. United smuggle it back for Cooper, who's long ball forward over halfway. Comes back off Campbell. It's cleared by Tanner for Bristol City, then chested down well over on the right hand side by Hirakawa. Coming forward is McCrory. Back out towards Hirakawa again, level with the edge of the penalty area. Taking on right hand side of the box, getting towards the byline, standing a deep one up towards the far post. Bell trying to steer a header down, but it's easily knocked away by Raksaki. Comes to the left hand side of midfield. Worked forward by Mehmeti. Mehmeti to his right hand side for Tanner. Tanner out towards McCrory. 3-0 to Sheffield United on the night. 6-0 the aggregate score. Now Viner out towards the right hand side of midfield. McGuane trying to work it down the inside right channel. That's easily knocked away, and a high ball over the top might get Sheffield United going again here. Good covering, great determination and appetite from Viner there. He's ended up getting fouled. He's got a free kick. It's Roberts, I beg your pardon. Just got caught. It's going to be a free kick that he's won, but he chased after that like his life depended on it. Credit to him for that.
Yeah, could have given up, couldn't he? And when you've got still players on the pitch now like Tyrese Campbell and Brewster, Raksaki wanting to at least make a point in case anything happens in the week leading up to the playoff final, you want to be the player that's available.
And for the likes of Raksaki, wanting to make a point for the bigger picture, he might be able to get a deal here for next season. Sheffield United go up. Been deemed surplus to requirements this season, at least at Palace. But he's got a part to play here. Sheffield United have got it with Chowdhury. 4 minutes to go. One of those nights where you would imagine there'll be very little stoppage time at the end of the second half. Robinson out of the Sheffield United left. Back through the midfield for Tom Davis. Davis to the impressive Peck, down towards Chowdhury. Raksaki again, faced up by Bell. Goes back inside his own half. Chowdhury controls it. Looks as though he's going to try and take on Mehmeti, former Wycombe man, his old club in action in the playoffs Thursday night. They go to Charlton. I promise you the second leg will be better than the first one was. That's TalkSport 2 Thursday night, 0-0 at the moment on aggregate. Here's O'Hare getting it forward. Back from him towards Brewster. Just a feet ball exercise now for Sheffield United then.
Yeah, of course. Again, as players, no more substitutions. You don't need anything to get involved and upset the possibility of playing at Wembley. Protect yourselves, keep the ball, and see this game out. Actually, you can enjoy the atmosphere for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, it's been vibrant. It's been superb. Last year, a very difficult year for Sheffield United. They have really clamoured for moments like this, and they've had plenty of wins here at Bramall Lane over the course of the last 8 months. But the lap of honour that the Sheffield United players will have at the end of this game will feel very special for them in front of a massed chorus like this. The Blades have still got it over on the left flank. 90 seconds left. Tom Davis. Back for Ahmedhodzic. He plays it forward towards Davis. Davis turning. Getting it forward again. Now Chris Wilder's contribution being recognised by the support. It really means so much for him. Stocksbridge boy, massive Sheffield United supporter as a boy. Davis fouled there, and that's going to be the first yellow card of the night after Harry Corling just left one on Tom Davis.
Yeah, it was a little bit late that from Cornick. Davis really not happy at all with him.
Davis getting back to his feet, and there's accusatory glance at Harry Cornick, who receives the yellow card, his first of the campaign. Free kick to Sheffield United, 20 seconds to go. Liam Manning coming across, and there's an arm round the shoulder of Chris Wilder. The handshake has already taken place. I don't think any stoppage time at all is going to be added on. As soon as the clock says 90 minutes, it will be all over. Chowdhury down towards the right hand side for O'Hare. He's actually given it away. Forward it comes down to the left hand side for Cornick, and Sheffield United are at Wembley. Job done, and the job has been done emphatically. 3-0 in the West Country, 3-0 again tonight, with goals from Moore, Harmer and O'Hare. They've never had a victorious playoff campaign, but they've got a shot at one now. Coventry or Sunderland in the final a week on Saturday for a place back in the Premier League. Bristol City, game and valiant, but ultimately the odds just far too big after that Rob Dickey red card in the first leg. Really did for them. They've had an excellent season, their best in 17 years, but it ends in playoff frustration. They'll come again. Sheffield United hope that they won't be playing Bristol City again next season. 3-0 to the Blades. They're 6-0 winners on aggregate, and they're at Wembley.